ladies and gentlemen. This is Rachel Kirkland, the Modern Shaman, and thanks for joining me for question and answer time. I am going to answer one of the questions that was sent in. This one was sent in through Facebook. If you're not connected with me on Facebook, by the way, please do. Please become friends. I have my personal page, which is just Rachel Kirkland, and I do live feeds on there, which are these live question and answer times on Saturdays at noon, Texas time, Central Standard Time. So those are fantastic, and it's just a great energy where the people on there are great. It's a great little community. And then I also have my business page, which is just the Modern Shaman, and just publish a lot of inspirational stuff, a lot of references to different articles and things about crystals and things about astrology, all sorts of different fun stuff that I'm into, and it's a great little community also. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to read this question because it's kind of lengthy. It says, hello, I was recently directed to you through the Leo King YouTube videos. The Leo King is awesome astrology. If y'all haven't seen his YouTube videos, fantastic, so fun. His energy is, I just love his energy. Like I could just sit and watch him talk. Great. Anyways, so yeah, I love that you found me that way. I'm new to all of this and evolving spiritually, so to speak, and I'm at a crossroads. I have always grown up sort of with God like the Bible, which I can't fully get with. I've been on a new journey to open my mind to other possibilities. I love astrology, but can't grasp the whole. I went to a friend who does shamanic healing, and my experience blew my mind. But I keep going back to Jesus and the God of the Bible and feel blocked. Okay, so the question is kind of like, any suggestions or advice from this point to kind of unblock that, kind of, coming back. Yes. Closed-minded, open-minded, closed-minded, open-minded, closed-minded, open-minded. I think we've all been there. Some probably more than others, but I loved that question because I also grew up in the Bible Belt and grew up in a predominantly Christian family. I have native roots, and definitely my family was not traditional in terms of Christianity. I was taught to meditate when I was a child. I read Edgar Cayce. My parents had books, Edgar Cayce, and books about life after life and all sorts of things that I got into as a child, very, very young. However, the structure of Christianity and that religious community I was very involved in as a child and really drawn to Jesus. And I love Jesus. To me, there's not an issue of judgment from Jesus at all. And I get this a lot with clients who've kind of grown up or are still in that religious community, which is fine. It serves a lot of people. I don't have an issue with it. I am not there anymore, and that system does not resonate with me anymore, but I do think it's helpful for some people, and if it resonates, it serves a purpose. All things serve purpose and are different expressions of the divine. So I validate that, okay? But that being said, Jesus, if you read the Bible and, you got to kind of read it. You can't trust from some other person's interpretation of it, just like things with spirit. You got to do it. You got to meditate yourself. You got to connect with God yourself. This is your experience, and it's going to be translated in your life. So even as I'm talking to you, you're going to take what I have to say, and you're going to have to translate it. You're going to have to let it simmer through your own spiritual guidance system, through your own emotional system, to find out whether it resonates with you or just needs to be tossed out, right? But oftentimes people kind of hit this plexiglass wall when it comes to spirituality, because they've been taught a certain system, or this is how you connect with God, or this stuff is good and this is bad, or whatever. And when they start exploring or opening themselves up to more possibilities, there's a sense of judgment, of fear, of things being of the devil, or putting it into different categories and really struggling with this idea. So I understand where you are. But Jesus was so open. And if you know him and get to know him, even in the Bible, the way, Jesus was not a Christian. He was not part of that religious system. He did not write those parts of the Bible about himself. Now, I'm not saying in various incarnations of him he didn't write the Bible, but I'm just saying he lived it. He just lived his freaking life, and he lived love, and he lived a connection to the divine. He lived it so much so, integrated into his life. It wasn't about a system, and it wasn't about interpreting certain things as good or bad. It was very much a relational energy of him getting alone with spirit. It talks all the time about how he went alone to the mountain and had to sit with God, or how he went and prayed alone on the top of the mountain. There's a sense of him constantly connecting with spirit, and then coming out and being, living it and preaching it and teaching it. And when he did go to the temple, he's a crazy kid. If he's in the temple, he's not sitting there and you don't see him sitting in church or the temple listening. when they talk about him in the Bible going to temple and because his family was Jewish in that community, he's either teaching the other rabbis about how he thinks things should be interpreted. So he's either teaching them, or he's throwing over tables and telling people they shouldn't be selling stuff and marketing and trying to sell ways to get to God, or he's calling the priests and rabbis whitewashed tombs that have maggots inside of them. He's pretty harsh. I love that. I'm like, yeah, you go, Jesus. You know what I mean? Go. When he's kind of standing against the system itself. Anyways, standing up for his personal experience of God, of source, of the divine, and what that looks like and how that's translated in his life. So I don't feel like there's any problem with that. People ask me all the time, it says there's one scripture in the Old Testament that talks about necromancy, which mediumship, talking to those that have passed on and being involved with those, and soothsayers, and I can't remember what else it calls them, seers or psychics, basically, people that are connected to the other side, and talks negatively about it. Now, when you read that whole area, it's very much an energy of dark magic, of black magic, of dark, of they were bleeding. They would cut and then look at your blood. There's a sense of blood sacrifice, of a lot of satanic, dark, heavy energy in what they're talking about. Now, I do not resonate with that and feel like what I do, or in my personal growth, that's what it's about. Mine is very much the opposite: light energy, connecting with angels, connecting with past loved ones that want, resolution, or want to tell you that they're at peace, connecting in very high vibrational realms and dimensions. Not saying it's an all-inclusive space, but in my heart of hearts, and I think if you're connecting at that level, there is such a sense of peace and love. It just dissipates any fear of judgment, fear of feeling like you're doing something wrong by talking to an angel, or because I feel like talking to spirit is what Jesus did all the time. and channeling is what I feel like he did in the Sermon on the Mount. You know what I mean? He's literally saying, the Father and I are one. I'm speaking. When you hear me speaking, you're hearing him speak. That's channeling. You know, I mean, you call it what you want. It doesn't matter. Labels are labels, but whatever. All that being said, I don't feel any sort of negative energy about expansion in this way spiritually. Jesus is and if you get to know him on a personal level, if you connect with his spirit, which is always open and ready to connect, or if you get to know him through the Bible, whatever way you want to get to know him, his energy is one of love. He resonates at the vibration of core love. So there is no judgment there. There is no sense of, judgment. Yeah. There is only a sense of understanding and openness and love. So as much as you can feel into being open and knowing, that Jesus didn't create that religion. He didn't. He just lived his life. And he just lived a life sold out to his calling on this planet, and encouraged people to do that on their own, and was an example, a pattern of how to do that vibrationally and how to translate that and integrate that into the physical body and what that looks like, which creates miracles and manifestations. And, he just lived out that pattern. There's no sense of judging astrology. When you look for it, it's there. The Magi, the gift of the Magi, that came to Jesus' birth, they were astrologers studying the stars and found that star, and there was an extreme solar burst also, and you can look at all this stuff. Electromagnetic currents were crazy during that time, and when high vibrational souls are coming in, a lot of times there's astrological connections there as well. So there's a lot there. All that being said, you're not alone. I think if you were to call in Jesus' energy and ask him to be with you in a state of love as you are opening yourself up to new religious experiences, he would be in that with you and participating and be open and open that dialogue and be happy to explore and express and keep you safe and feeling grounded even when you're learning about things that seem beyond the Bible. Yeah, so that's that. I love you guys. Have a blessed day.